incredible championship. We start things out with the Formula 1600s, proudly brought to you by Investchem. In this championship, it's a local man, Julian van der Walt, who has been the man to beat all season long, and he's looking to wrap up an almost perfect season. He's only been bettered once. If it all goes according to plan this weekend, he will wrap up the SA Championship. He's going to be pushed hard by another local man, DOLINSCHEK. Dean Venter and Alex Gillespie will be there as well, and keep an eye out on the hard-charging Cameron O'Connor. DOLINSCHEK doing a great job in the race driver car, so did Dean Venter. And it looks like there's going to be an epic battle at the front end between the two white cars. On the outside is the pole man. He gets a great start. That is Van der Walt. And with that pole position, he's literally got one hand on the championship trophy. A good start coming out of Cameron O'Connor as they go down into turn number 1, but he loses out a couple of inches of ground there as they go into turn 1, KFM corner, and all of a sudden he went from second place on the grid, Rob, all the way down into about third or fourth place. Moves up to, down to fifth in fact.
Formula 1600s, they really do love coming racing at Killarney, and the lap times that these guys are producing not far off the two-wheeled motorcycles as well. So real good turn of pace from these guys. But Julian van der Walt, the man out front, and someone's got to try and disrupt his race, because once he gets into a rhythm, he is very hard to beat.
I'm just having a look and seeing whether or not there was a little bit of a jump start coming out of Cam O'Connor, which is why he actually stopped on the grid.
Lost the ground.
He lost the ground on the start line, and then unfortunately lost huge amounts of ground heading down into his first lap. We're on board with Rick Morris. Good to see him back in racing. Had a big mountain bike crash at the beginning of the season, and unfortunately has not been able to do his normal every weekend coming to race from London, England. But this time out, he's come out for the last 2 rounds and looking forward to going to battle again with his arch rival in the Class Bs. And that, of course, is going to be Ian Schofield himself. We're on board here with Dean Venter as we head down the main straightaway for the very first time. He sits in second place. You can see he's going to have to go defensive, and he's doing just that to keep out DOLINSCHEK as they head into turn 1.
Now, there we go. That's 4 abreast almost going into turn 1. They keep it all nice and tidy there for now, but these guys are certainly going to be bashing some wheels the longer this race goes on. But it's all about Van der Walt still out front. You could see by the onboard GoPro footage that we had just how bumpy the circuit is, so you really have to have your wits about you. Hold on to that steering wheel, and massive understeer from these cars as well. But like I said before, they love coming racing. Back on board now with Leon PIENAAR. You can see him getting good drive there, trying to pick up the slipstream. That's also very vital down the backstraight here, especially with the wind picking up just a little bit, and flat out through the right-hander here, all the way onto the backstraight in these little 1600s.
Yeah, a little bit of roll-off as they go here through Jag Sweep and off the KFM straight. Gillespie starting to close in. Alex Gillespie's looking for a chance to close in and get past Cam O'Connor. He's lost one position to O'Connor, so he wants to return the favour. Behind them, it's the 2 Investchem cars of Schofield and Morris, and you can see Liam PIENAAR, unfortunately in the Phoenix Jewelers car, hasn't quite been able to get through on them. Here's a late outbreaking maneuver from DOLINSCHEK to try and keep O'Connor out. O'Connor's on the inside. Oh, very close between the two of them, but he just manages to squeeze him out.
And look at that now, while the 3 of them jostle for positions. Alex Gillespie now right in the tailpipes there of the guys just ahead. He's going to pull out and try and go on the inside. Remember, you can pick and choose your line. Going a little bit defensive there, so no room for Gillespie, but rather on the inside there. Oh, Venter trying to make the move. And he does so on board here. This is beautiful. Oh, look how close they get there. Can he line something up going into turn 2? Not there. But while he's trying to attack, he's got to try and keep Gillespie behind him.
He certainly does. They come under braking now, hard on the brakes into turn 2.
Sideways.
Ooh, O'Connor is having his hands full. There's no doubt about it. Trying to find a way through on DOLINSCHEK and keep out the attack, which the man is just taken out. Oh, sideways action there. That is the Lieutenant Colonel who's come together there, Alan Meyer. And it looks like Donnie Lamola is the second car involved in that incident. So she's now parked on the sideline. That's a big pity for the young lady. She was going so well. Normally a great battle between the two of them. Looks like there's actually 3 cars involved there. Rick Morris looks like he might have got involved in that incident too. Here we got Rick Morris's point of view as he turns into KFM corner. He just gets it out of shape. And in the background, I think both Lamola, maybe there's a bit of fluid or something on the inside turn there. I'm not quite sure. There you can see Rick Morris on his own sim, not helped out by anybody other than the mistake he made. Donnie Lamola went off on her own. She was now looking for a chance to squeeze through as they came under braking. Oh, Alan Meyer actually came off. He rolled out when he saw Rick Morris going into the kiddie litter, and Donnie Lamola was caught out by the braking done by Alan Meyer. This is his point of view. Oh, that's a big hit. From behind, and all 3 cars in the kiddie litter. So possibilities now of yellow flags down into turn number 1 until they get those cars sorted out. So there'll be no overtaking allowed into KFM corner as our leaders come through Cape Town corner, heading down towards turn 1 now.
Yeah, Julian van der Walt, he has now extended that lead, putting in a 1:15.6, so the fastest man on circuit by almost half a second over the chasing bunch here. Trying to make a move on the inside. Oh, there's yellow flags, and it looks like that's O'Connor on the inside of DOLINSCHEK. Will he make it? Oh, he's done it. So that could possibly be a penalty at the end of this race. We're going to have to look at that. But certainly O'Connor making a move there on DOLINSCHEK. And I wonder if DOLINSCHEK just saw that and maybe just backed out. And, well, that's not good racing there from O'Connor. So we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, a little mistake there from the youngster. Remember, he is one of the youngest drivers out there. He's got a lot of campaigning in karting and one of our top karters in the country. But DOLINSCHEK would know exactly where to look for those yellow flags. Being a local man, he's going to definitely use that to his advantage. And I think Cam O'Connor might pay at the end of this race with a 30-second penalty for overtaking under yellow. Let's see what Gillespie and Fent have to say about it now as they close in on those two youngsters fighting at the front end. Josh DOLINSCHEK now trying to just give back that favour. Maybe he wants to win it on the road, never mind win it under protest if there's going to even be one. Because, of course, he's going to be slapped 30 seconds for passing under yellow.
These four guys really are on such a similar pace. It's hard to kind of figure out where they're going to make the passes. You can see some flapping going on there from a seatbelt or something in DOLINSCHEK's car. So maybe just irritating him a little bit. But they really are so evenly paced. It's all about trying to get into that slipstream and make a move either into turn one or this final turn here at Cape Town corner.
I see TIAGO
Oh, a little bit wide.
Yeah, a little wide for him. And the reason why is I think he got caught watching the other car running wide there. Completely offline is KARL PITZER, two of our young karters who've made the step up. And PITZER, unfortunately, just missing the tire wall all the way from Mozambique, but certainly getting better and better every time he gets behind there. Donnie Lamola just being checked out by the marshals down there at turn number 1 to ensure that she's okay. The medical team will be there too, but no worries whatsoever. And with this victory, Rob, it looks like it's all done and dusted. The championship will be heading into the Race Driver SA team, and once again, Julian van der Walt is going to take another victory and secure the 2017 Formula 1600 Championship.
An awesome job so far this year from that man, but the battle for second and third is still definitely on. Remember, O'Connor on track is involved in that bit. We're going to have to wait and see. Yes, he did get the penalty. So it is Van der Walt out front, DOLINSCHEK in second, Dean Venter, Gillespie, Liam PIENAAR in fifth, and down in 8th place is Cameron O'Connor after that penalty.
KARL, it's great to have you here from Mozambique this season. How was your race today?
My race was actually quite a bad race. I started badly. I messed up with the gear, so that resulted in people passing me in the first corner. So the rest of the race, I had to make up my positions. While I was making up my positions, a problem occurred with my gears, where the fourth gear was stuck and kept going back to neutral. That resulted in an accident where I couldn't finish the race because of the accident.
Claudio, the man behind the car, behind the driver, putting in all the hard work behind the scenes. Take us through the season of a race engineer.
I'd say it sort of varies. The main thing that I do is just focus on sort of the weaknesses of the driver and try and eliminate them, and then just make them more of a complete package and less mistakes, less crashes, less problems. And yeah, that's how you win championships, is just trying to be as consistent as possible. That's pretty much it.
12 from 13 races and the 2017 championship. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been an amazing season. We've won now 12 out of 13 races. Just the last one at Swartkops, we got a second. But it's been a really amazing season. The guys have done an amazing job with the car. I couldn't have done it without my team, my mechanic Henrik, Claudio, Ian, all of them. Just a massive thank you to all of them. It's been a really amazing year.
Looking forward to race number 2 now. The championship is wrapped up. Can anybody do anything about that young man at the front end of this field? You can see how dominant he's been all season long, Rob. And it looks like he wants to just maybe finish with a bit of a swan song here. A little bit of adjustments onto some of the cars there. You can see Matt Nash working hard to ensure that his drivers are good to go. And I think Dean Venter might just have a little bit more of an edge there with that adjustment on the wing. We're on board with Venter as the lights are about to go on and off. Oh, O'Connor this time. That time, definitely a jump start.
Yeah.
Oh, he's having a nightmare. We thought he might have messed it up on the first one. He didn't. He got a 30-second penalty for overtaking under yellow. And unfortunately, Cam O'Connor now has definitely got a jump start penalty as he went off. Looks like Dean Venter might have gone with him as well. So those two just getting caught out there. And we'll have to wait and see what happens out. Schofield and PIENAAR a little sideways coming out of turn 1 KFM.
Who says you can't get four wheels sideways? The guys here down at Killarney going in and out of the turns, getting those four wheels lit up. So yeah, not the race that Dean Venter, or the start I should say, that they would have wanted. And Cameron O'Connor, what does he have to do? We know that he's got the pace to challenge for that top 3, but mistakes like that just costing him at the moment. But Julian van der Walt, our new champion, is out front where he wants to be. Won by 9 seconds, using a little bit of the track and more, one of the drivers there behind. But van der Walt, he won by 9 seconds in race number 1. Can he extend that in race number 2?
Let's see if they'll do anything about it as they head down the back straight for the first time now. These cars will be flat out at 260 kilometers an hour before they get onto the brakes down into Cape Town corner. And you can see already some chopping and changing in the mid-pack. Rick Morris starting to attack at the front, so is Schofield. Andy Schofield looking to get on the inside of PIENAAR as they get into Cape Town corner. Late on the brakes, he drifts a little bit into the turn. Has to tuck in behind the Phoenix Jewelers car, but now looks to go on the attack again. Look at Andrew Schofield. Behind him is Ian. Ian sitting there in second place and looking for a chance to wrap up Class B's championship here as well. So both of the titles in this category could be sorted out by the end of this race.
I wonder if Liam PIENAAR's pit board is telling him that he's actually in a big dice there for the podium position. But the likes of Cameron O'Connor and, of course, turning out of turn one there. That's Donny Lamola once again. Not having a good time there is our lady driver in turn number one. Unfortunately, just spinning out of action there. But like I was talking about Liam PIENAAR, he's potentially on for a podium. Although he's got Dean Fenter and Cameron O'Connor right there with him, they're not in contention after the jump starts.
Let's have a look at this from Donny Lamola's point of view as they go down into KFM
Just
corner.
too much.
On the inside was Alan Mayer. There was a bit of pressure there, but a little bit too much. And unfortunately ending up on the sideline. Gets back and going, but a long way back. Hopefully no damage to the car. Front end battle continues. Dean Fenter closing in on O'Connor. And Cam O'Connor's days are numbered. Dean Fenter in the Desco SA Miguel definitely wants to get up there and get through. DOLINSCHEK also starting to make his way to the front, so keep an eye out on Josh DOLINSCHEK. He's not too far behind, and he's slowly but surely closing down on these two because of the little in-house fight they're in.
Yeah, and he knows, I wonder if he saw the jump start, he probably would have from his car view that they've got those jump starts, but so he's going to have to play it careful. He doesn't want to throw the potential podium away from trying to make a move on those two drivers that are not in that podium finish. Gillespie's not the kind of pace that we saw in race number one, just lost a toe from our leading group, but a lot closer to Van der Walt is the rest of the gang. So can they close on our new champion? Oh, there's problems there.
O'Connor running wide,
Yeah, that's
O'Connor off
O'Connor.
the track. That's Cam O'Connor's day done. He's got a gearbox full of nothing by the sounds of things. Can't select anything, and the Repro Supplies machine is out. He maybe have to take that to the WeFix store down at the Vaal Mall. Well, it's all about the Formula 1600s, Rob, and I can tell you this championship has been incredible all season long with the new format of wings and slicks. The first champion has been crowned. The second one looks like it might be done by the end of this one, with Schofield taking Class B. But the podium is still up for grabs. Remember, the man in second place is on a possible jump start. So it's Liam PIENAAR looking for one of his best finishes ever in Formula 1600s.
And it will be a 30-second jump start penalty, so he'll be lucky to possibly get into the top 10 there, will Dean Fenter. But on board with Morris, a much better job than he did in race number one. Remember, he had that big collision going into turn one, and the two Schofields doing well there as well in 5th and 6th at the moment, or 7th and 8th, sorry, on track, but potentially up in the top 6 with those penalties that are to come. Julian van der Walt now stamping his authority, putting in a couple of very fast laps now and giving the home crowd exactly what they wanted to see.
Local man at the front, they're going to be very happy about that, there's no doubt about it. Further back there, Rick Morris starting to close in on Schofield. So he wants to give his good friend a bit of a run for his money here in what could possibly be his championship winning race. Nice to see Liam PIENAAR also still fighting hard, not giving up. And DOLINSCHEK, in fact, has squeezed through. So it looks like a little bit of a chop and change there. I didn't see the white car, I only picked it up afterwards. But DOLINSCHEK has actually got through to 3rd place. So that is potentially 2nd and 3rd that we're seeing right now with Fenter on that 30-second penalty.
A much better drive this from Liam PIENAAR. He's right there now in for that podium contention. And just keep it on the 4 wheels and on the nice grippy stuff. Oh, sideways through there, using all the power that Ford 1600 motor has onto the back straight. Oh, a little touchy-turvy there, and just not able to hold it out and spinning out there. That's car number 59, that's TIAGO REBELO. So unfortunately, he didn't quite touch him. Just asked a little bit too much of that throttle and spinning out as we go on board here now. Coming into the 2 fast right-handers, you can carry so much speed. And those tyres just said no more and just spinning out. So unfortunate there, making that move. Was looking good up to that point and just making that mistake. This is on board now with Alan Mayer. Great footage. You see, just gets a little bit too fast into the turn, loses the traction. And Alan Mayer did a great job at actually avoiding that, because they were both right drivers could have actually been out of this race.
Seasoned campaigner there, the LT. He knew exactly what was going to go wrong with the youngster. Coming into Malmesbury a little bit too hot there, and unfortunately not getting it all right. But this is great to see 2 of potentially next year's championship contenders at the front end with 1 to go. As they head down onto the back straight, closing in on Dean Fenter. DOLINSCHEK pushing hard still. He wants to get it second place on the track, never mind on the paperwork afterwards once they've sorted out all the penalties that are going to be implied. But I tell you something, Julian van der Walt has been the class of this field this season. An incredible double victory here in front of his home crowd and the championship in the bag. Well done to him, a great season so far, and even pushing hard into the final turn.
A little bit of showboating there, get the wheels in the dirt, get it sideways coming across the line now. Julian van der Walt, that is a brilliant day's racing for the local man. It's exactly what he would have wanted to do here at Killarney, and rounds out a brilliant first bit of action from the Formula 1600s.
250,000 Rand in the bag. A test for A1 Grand Prix, a test for Afrix Motorsport, and in the Formula Renault. That's what it's all about for Julian van der Walt. He takes the championship. Stuart White will be back in action when we get to the next round to fight out for second place with Gillespie and O'Connor.
Rick, a big welcome back to South Africa. We've missed you. You have a good weekend.
No, basically. It's so hard getting back into these cars. We did a few things wrong, and I did a big thing wrong. I over-braked in the first race and gave the mechanics a fair bit of work. And we missed out something that we should have adjusted for the second race. So it was a hard race, but great fun, as always in Cape Town.